Hello, so welcome back to the discussion on risk management. So now let's talk about the relevant risk terminologies when it comes to risk management. Number one is the risk associated with investment. So ito yung mga um, risk na when it comes to investment ay lagi siyang na-mention, no? Although a single risk premium must compensate the investor for all the uncertainty associated with the investment, numerous factors may contribute to the investment uncertainty, and this includes we have business risk, financial risk, liquidity risk, default risk, interest rate risk, management risk, and purchasing power risk. So when we say business risk, okay, this refers to the uncertainty about the rate of return caused by the nature of the business. So we have an example here, a scenario. So let's imagine that you are a bidding investor with two options. So company A, bading pala, okay. Company A, a fast food restaurant that sells burgers and fries, and company B is a company that manufactures and sells high-end luxury sports cars. So ang business risk dito when it comes to company A, so low ang kanyang business risk. Bakit? Because we all know that people will always need to eat. So regardless of the economy, okay, the sales might fluctuate slightly, the demand for the affordable fast food is still stable. Kasi nga, basic necessity natin yan. And most of its costs are variable when it comes to ingredients, staff wages, di ba? More on variable cost siya rather than fixed cost. Okay? While for company B, which is for luxury car manufacturer, this company has high business risk because during a strong economy, people might splurge on luxury cars, leading to high sales and profits. However, if the economy enters a recession, bumagsak ang economy, people will cut back on non-essential spending. Kasi nga, okay, bumagsak ang economy, siguro maraming walang trabaho, gano'n. So, hindi naman is necessity ang ating hindi naman essential yung ating pagbili ng cars. So this means sales could plummet, ibig sabihin bumagsak, but the company would still have to pay its fixed cost, di ba? So ano may example ng mga fixed cost when it comes to car manufacturing, di ba? Factory maintenance, equipment, and research development. So yun yung business risk. It talks about the uncertainty about the rate of return based or caused by the nature of the business. Second one is the default risk. Okay, when we say default risk, it is related to the probability that the sum or all of the initial investment will not be returned. Okay, let's example this one: Company A, burger joint, and Company B, luxury car manufacturer. So let's say both companies want to borrow money from the bank. Okay, to expand. So for Company A, the banks looks at their financial statement and sees a history of stable, consistent revenue and low debt. So the bank would see this as a low default risk loan. Ibig sabihin, mababa yung chance na mag-default or pumalya yung ating burger joint company A na magbayad sa kanyang mga utang kasi nga they are confident that the company will have enough cash flow to make its payment so they might offer a loan with a lower interest rate. While for company B, high default risk loan siya. Okay, why? It is because, okay, since if titingnan mo yung financial statement ni company B, since the nature of this business is for highly volatile, 'di ba, yung kanyang mga revenue, they already have a significant amount of debt. So they are less certain that the company will be able to make its payments. Kasi nga malaking company siya, okay, malaking company, malaki din yung kanyang utang. So may chance na mag-default. Okay, high default risk yung ating company B. Okay? So as a result, they may either deny the loan or charge a higher interest rate as compared with the company A. So in short, when we say business risk, it's talk about the uncertainty of the company core operations, while default risk is the uncertainty of the company's ability to pay back its financial debts. Okay? Next, financial risk. Okay, when we say financial risk, ito pala. It is the uncertainty related to a company's financing structure. Okay, it's the risk that a company cannot meet its financial obligations like interest payments on debt or dividends on preferred stocks. While pag sinabi naman nating interest rate risk, It is the risk that an investment value will change due to fluctuation in market interest rates, like investment for bonds, okay, where rising interest rates cause bond prices to fall. Okay, let's have this illustration. Okay, imagine you are a newly minted CPA and you have two investment opportunities for your savings. So, investment A bond issued by a large, well established corporation. Investment B, a house in a rural area that you plan to rent out. So, i-breakdown natin yung different risks associated with each investment. So this risk applies to more to the company you are investing. So think about a company that funds its operations primarily with debt versus a company that uses its own equity from shareholders. So a company that took a lot, a company that that took on a lot of debt to grow quickly, high financial risk yun. So if its sales drop unexpectedly, it might not have enough cash to make its interest payments. So this is a big concern for investors and creditors. For low financial risk, a company with very little or no debt, it can weather a downturn in sales more easily because it doesn't have fixed debt payments to worry about. Okay. Okay. Hindi ko alam kung anong connect nung ating investment A and B dyan. Parang wala naman masyado. Okay. Next is yung ating interest rate risk scenario. You bought the bond with when interest rates were at low 3%. Now the central bank raises interest rates to 5%. So ang impact niya, the new bonds being issued today offer a 5% return, which is much more attractive than your 3%. So this means that the market value of your bond, it will decrease. Kasi nga, nung kinuha mo siya, 3% lang. So 3% lang yung return sa'yo. But as of now, di ba, 5% na yung return ng new interest rate. So your market value of your bond will decrease. So if you tried to sell your bond now, you would have to sell it for less or less than what you have paid for to entice a buyer. So this is a interest rate risk. And for liquidity risk, okay, liquidity risk is associated with the uncertainty created by the inability to sell the investment quickly for cash. Diba pag sinabing liquidity, wala kang cash or you don't have enough cash, hindi ka liquid, ganun ba? Okay? So, let's have this scenario. You bought the house as an investment but suddenly you need to apply or you need to sell it to pay for an emergency. So, real estate is not liquid, di ba? Kung titignan natin, hindi siya liquid kasi pag sinabing liquid, meron kang enough cash. So, ang nangyayari dito is, bumili ka, but now you need cash. So, you need to sell your asset. So, you can't sell a house in a day like you can with a stock. So, hindi basta-basta pwede magbenta ka ng bahay kasi nga, madaming kailangan i-process dyan. If you're in a hurry, you might be forced to sell the house for significantly less than expected market value. Siyempre, ang gusto ng mga buyer, yung mas, kung talagang nag-rush ka na gusto mo ng cash, ibebenta mo siya at lower its price. So, malulugi ka doon. So, ang tawag doon is, ang tawag doon sa inability to sell quickly at a fair price. So, binenta mo siya, hindi mo siya nabenta at fair price. Ang tawag doon is liquidity risk. Okay? Next, how about the management risk? Okay? So, management risk, okay, decisions made by a firm's management and board of directors materially affect the risk faced by the investor. So, naapektuhan dito yung investor. So, let's have this illustration. We have company A and company B. Company A is a tech startup. So, the CEO decides to use a large portion of the company's funds to develop a high-risk, unproven new product. You, as an investor, are now exposed to high management risk. So, if the new product is a massive success, the value of your investment could skyrocket. However, if the product fails, the company could lose all its money and your investment could become worth less. So, bakit naging management risk yun? Kasi nga, bago pa lang yung product. And it is a management risk kasi nga ang nag-offer sa iyo, 'di ba, is yung management, 'di ba? So, management yung may factor diyan nag-cause ng ating management risk. Next, for company B, the management team is known for making careful, calculated decisions. They decided to use the company's profits to buy back shares, which increases the value of each existing share. So this is a conservative, shareholder-friendly decision. So the management risk here is low because management team is not making high-risk bets with your money. Unlike for company A, mataas yung management risk kasi nga hindi mo alam kung magiging successful, magfi-failed or success yung investment mo. Unlike dito is nagkaroon ng careful decision making yung ating management, which conservative yung ginawa. Okay? Next is purchasing power risk. Purchasing power risk is perhaps more difficult to recognize than the other types of risk. So let's have this scenario. So scenario is you buy a 1,000 peso bond today. So the bond promises to pay you 30 pesos in interest each year. So the impact, we will consider the impact of inflation. So pag sinabing low inflation, if the inflation rate is 1% per year, the purchasing power of your 30 pesos payment is still good, di ba? After inflation, your real return, okay, ano ba to? Your real return is, hindi ko makita. Okay, bumaba. So you are making money and your money's value is increasing kasi nga low inflation. Pero kung high inflation, 'di ba, pag sinabing high inflation, tumaas yung mga bilihin, bumaba yung purchasing power ng peso, gano'n. So if the inflation rate suddenly jumps to 5% per year, your bond is still only paying you 30 pesos interest. So the goods and services you could buy for 1,000 at the beginning of the year now cost 1,050. So even though you receive 30 pesos in interest, the purchasing power of the 30 pesos and the original 1,000 is now less than when you started. Yan yung tinatawag nating purchasing power, di ba, bumababa. Yung parang ano yan, pwede nating i-associate yan yung ating present value, di ba? Kung ano yung peso today, okay, yung peso today is mas binayaran mo ngayon or yung worth ng pera mo ngayon is mas mababa na for the next few years, 'di ba? Kung tumaas yung inflation, okay? Mas konti na yung mabibili nung 1,000 pesos mo. Okay, so in simple terms, management risk is about the quality of the decisions made by the people running the company, while purchasing power risk is about the value of your money being eaten away by inflation. Okay? I think that would be for the risk associated with investment. Okay? And then meron pa tayong iba't ibang risk dito. So, we have the market risk. Under the market risk, papasok dyan yung ating product risk. Ano yung mga product risk? Papasok yung complexity, obsolescence. When you say obsolescence, naging obsolete. Ibig sabihin, hindi na updated yung product. So, kung hindi na updated yung product, outdated na siya, pwedeng hindi na bilhin to ng customers. Ano pa? Research and development, packaging, and delivery of warranties. Okay? And then for competitor risk, andyan yung pricing strategy, market share, and market strategy. Pag sinabing pricing strategy, dapat i-consider mo din yung price ng mga competitors mo. Baka masyado silang mababa magbigay ng price. So, kung mababa sila magbigay ng price, mas madami silang customer, di ba? So, sometimes na may nangyayaring gano'n na unfair competition. Market share, if malaki ba yung share nila sa market, ibig sabihin mas popular sila, mas engage yung customer sa kanila. And then, ano kaya yung kanilang market strategy na ginagawa. And then for operations risk, andyan yung process stoppage, health and safety, after sales service failure, environmental, technological obsolescence, integrity, which includes the management fraud, employee fraud, and illegal acts. And then for financial risk, and then yung interest rates volatility, foreign currency, liquidity, derivative, and viability. And then for business risk, andyan yung regular change, reputation, political, regulatory, and legal, shareholders relations, credit rating, capital availability, and business interruptions. So ito naman yung mga risks na associated with the financial institution. So pakibasa na lang yan. And then we have here the potential risk treatments. Okay, under ISO 331,000 also suggests that once risk has been identified and assessed, techniques to manage the risk should be applied. So these techniques can fall into one or more of these four categories. We have risk avoidance, risk reduction, risk sharing, and risk retention. Anong pinagkaiba ng mga iyan? So yan ang titignan natin sa ating next discussion. So thank you for listening and see you in the next video lecture.